EdAid is a financial technology business that enables students to crowdfund the cost of studying at university from the community rather than borrowing from the government or banks. And we have a sole mandate to essentially reduce the cost of higher education and increase access to those that currently are locked out of the system.
So what was your ask of the delegates today? I know you were speaking on a panel today. If there was one thing that you wanted them to take away from EdAid, what would it be?
I think that the panel we spoke on was less about us and more about a broader subject around financial literacy. So I think today wasn't about selling EdAid as a platform. Most people in the audience are postgraduate, university studied, maybe their children. I think one of the asks that we've got is that we need a greater framework around how we communicate about financial services. I know there's a lot that's been done about financial literacy and making the basic information simple and transparent. But why is all the important stuff at the bottom of the page and the big sell, the big print stuff that you don't need to know? £50 cash back at the top and the bottom saying that you only get that cash back if you keep an account open for 6 months and that you pay your minimum balance every 5. All the important stuff you really need to know is always buried at the bottom. So EdAid aside, financial literacy across the nation is really important. If we then take it into an EdAid context, listen, we're a challenger brand. We're a small startup business that's going to potentially be a bit of a thorn in the side of the system. We hope to reduce the amount of bureaucracy in terms of higher education funding, increase access. So we've got a niche product called Card Hassan, which enables British Muslim students to fund higher education because they're currently unable to borrow from the government interest-bearing RIBA loan system. So there's a real piece of direct innovation to solve a problem for that niche community. But also then is a much bigger audience. Student debt is rising at 15% year on year. In the UK and US, students are paying $200 million a day in interest charges. Okay, and total student debt is 1.4 trillion now, and in 5 years' time, it's going to be $3 trillion.
So the platform for that argument for you is pretty important, I should imagine.
Yeah, and also just to say, listen, we can't solve that problem single-handedly.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a damn good go at making life a lot more straightforward and more open and transparent for a number of students. And then if we give students choice, and they can choose to take whichever one, and if there's a level playing field, we don't even mind loaded dice. We'll play with those conditions. The UK government this year will lend £20 billion. We hope to lend 10 million, not 20 billion, 10 million. So we know that we're a very small player. But if we can shift the conversation, if we can say that the compounding of interest charges by the government turns the average student loan of £27,000 and makes it £60,000. The average repayment period 20 years, whereas we get students to repay it in 8, but also affordably repay it in 8. And we do that by cutting out the greed, the inefficiency, and the kind of punitive interest charges. So technology and financial technology is the solution. We can do it sustainably at scale. Yep. And the forum like Innovate Finance and the kind of global summit today gives us a chance to be able to at least start the conversation, and that for us is invaluable. And
you're a member of Innovate Finance. How important is that to you, and what do you hope to achieve through that partnership over the next 12 months?
I think any kind of industrial cluster it has an enormous value and merit. And when you first start and you're kind of being sold on this idea, for me it wasn't a difficult sell, because being around other bright people, being around really bright people who aren't in your network and direct sphere is where you need to be. So often we tend to network around people we know, but they're not the people we need. The people we need tend to be outside that. Innovate Finance gives us a greater breadth and depth of network, which, whilst not immediately valuable now, may be valuable in 3, 4, 5, 6 years' time. So I think that what we're doing is we're sowing the seed here this year for future development. So am I going to make 100 contacts now at a conference like this that are going to be valuable? Absolutely not. But can we help build and grow that ecosystem together? And if everyone is essentially the idea of one member, one vote, means that we can all contribute to actually making Innovate Finance in the next 4, 5, 6 years really valuable.
Fantastic. It's been very interesting to talk to you. Thank you so much, Tom.
No problem at all.
Sounds like your organisation is at the cornerstone of this ecosystem. So
I think we'll give it a good go and enjoy what we do, and where it takes us, we'll see.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
No, thanks for your time.